My sister took over my 21st birthday celebration. I remained in the background while everyone completely overlooked me. Several months afterward, they understood what they had truly missed, but by then it was far too late. Elegant crystal lights brightened the grand hall of the country club. Pure white blooms spilled from every centerpiece on the tables, and a beautiful three-layer cake stood proudly on the sweet station. All of it looked perfect for a 21st birthday party, especially one meant for me. But that evening, none of it felt like mine anymore. I waited near the entrance, observing guests arrive carrying wrapped gifts and smiling warmly. My stomach twisted as every person walked right past me without a glance, heading directly to the greeting line where my parents and sister stood. The dress I had carefully chosen over many weeks now felt awkward and wrong against my body. The deep navy silk that Mom had insisted would look stunning in pictures suddenly seemed like an outfit borrowed for someone else's big moment. "There she is, the birthday girl," Aunt Karen called out excitedly, hurrying forward with open arms. For a brief, hopeful instant, I thought she meant me. Then I saw Mom embrace Olivia, my 23-year-old sister, who twirled gracefully in a shimmering champagne gown that probably cost more than my entire college savings. Mom appeared beside me suddenly, her face showing that familiar sharp annoyance she reserved only for me. "Why are you standing here alone? Go assist your sister in welcoming everyone. Tonight is her important evening." The statement hit me hard like a sudden punch, her important evening. "Mom, today is my birthday. I'm the one turning 21. She brushed it off with a quick wave of her hand, already scanning the room for other matters. "Olivia never got a proper 21st birthday party because your father was sick that year. When she brought it up recently, we decided it would be easier to combine everything. Try not to be so self-centered about it." That word hung heavily between us, sharp and well-known. I had heard versions of it my whole life whenever I asked for something that clashed with what Olivia needed. Birthdays were scheduled around her exam periods. Vacations were planned to match her school breaks. Holiday mornings were delayed because she needed extra rest after late shifts at the hospital, where she worked as a physician assistant. "We could have just held 2 separate events," I said softly, barely audible. Mom let out a cold laugh. "Do you know how expensive this place is? You should feel lucky we're even doing something for you. Many parents wouldn't bother at all." She disappeared into the guests before I could say more, leaving me isolated as waiters carried trays of champagne glasses and appetizers. The DJ started a popular song Olivia loved, and I watched her dance with Dad in the middle of the floor while the crowd applauded. No one seemed to realize the actual birthday girl wasn't part of the main scene. My phone buzzed with a message from Megan, my closest friend since middle school. "On my way, late. Save me a spot at your table." I glanced at the seating chart on display near the entrance. Table 1 listed Rebecca and John, my parents, Olivia, Ethan, her boyfriend, Aunt Karen, and several close family friends. My own name was placed at table 7, tucked away in a far corner next to cousins I hardly knew and my elderly great-aunt who could barely hear. Tears welled up before I could hold them back. I slipped into the bathroom, dabbing cold towels on my eyes to fix the smudged makeup. The reflection staring back looked young and foolish. How had I let myself believe this night might finally be different? Every major moment in my life had played out this way, with Olivia in the spotlight and me watching from the sides. When I returned, the party was fully underway. Olivia sat at the center table, surrounded by her coworkers from the hospital, all enjoying a story she shared. Mom and Dad stood close, beaming with pride. The cake was brought out, and I noticed with numb acceptance that the icing read, "Happy 21st birthday, Olivia," in elegant script. My name wasn't mentioned anywhere. "Pardon me," a server said, offering a tray of champagne. "Are you here for the birthday celebration?" The simple question nearly broke me. I accepted a glass, though I wasn't legally allowed yet, and finished it quickly in a few swallows. The fizz stung, but the slight warmth eased my embarrassment a little. Guests danced, chatted, and toasted someone who had already celebrated her real 21st years earlier. Olivia had simply used my actual milestone as an excuse to recapture her own past highlight. Megan finally arrived, saw my expression, and hugged me tightly. "What's wrong? You seem crushed." I explained everything in rushed, tangled sentences. Her face shifted from shock to anger as she looked around, noticing all the details I described. "This is unbelievable," she said. "Where's your cake, your gifts?" I pointed to the overflowing present table. "Most are labeled for Olivia. Everyone assumed it was her event." Megan took my arm firmly. "We're going now. I can't just walk out of my own birthday. It's not yours anymore. She was already guiding me toward the door. Come on, we'll find a place that actually values you. I glanced back at my family one last time. Mom was laughing with Karen. Dad had his arm around Olivia, gazing at her with clear affection that hurt to witness. Neither had ever looked at me that way, at least not that I could remember. We reached the parking area before Mom caught up, her shoes clicking sharply on the concrete, face red with frustration. Where are you headed? You can't simply leave your sister's event. My sister's event? I echoed, the pain clear in my voice. It was meant to be mine. You're overreacting. Go back inside and stop making a scene for the family. Something inside me cracked like thin ice giving way. No. Mom's eyes grew wide. I had never directly refused her before. What did you just say? I said no, I'm finished. I'm going and I'm not returning. Don't be absurd. You're 21 without a job or any real plans. Where do you imagine you'll end up? I had earned acceptance to Stanford with a partial scholarship, all on my own since my parents were too occupied with Olivia's career to help with applications. The original plan was to save costs by staying home and commuting. That changed right there in the country club lot. I'll manage, I replied, my tone steadier than my feelings. I've been handling things alone for years already. Mom's expression shifted from fury to something almost wounded, if I believed she could feel that deeply. If you leave now, don't count on us helping when things get tough. You'll be completely on your own. I've always been on my own, you simply never saw it. I climbed into Megan's car before she could respond. Through the window, I watched her hesitate a moment, torn between dragging me back and heading inside to her flawless gathering. The gathering prevailed. She always chose the easier path, and my feelings had never been simple. Megan took us to a quiet diner on the edge of town with worn booths and bright lights. We ordered pancakes despite the late hour, and she listened quietly while I cried over my coffee, processing my sudden decision. My phone filled with messages from relatives, mostly repeating that I was ungrateful, childish, and selfish for ruining Olivia's night. None asked if I was okay. You can stay at my place, Megan offered. My parents won't object, they have the spare room free. I agreed, having no alternatives. That night, I packed my things into trash bags and left my parents home while they remained at the club. They returned after midnight, long after I was gone. The following 2 years were the hardest I had ever faced. I balanced 2 part-time jobs with full-time classes at Stanford, surviving on little sleep and instant noodles. Megan's family charged minimal rent and showed me more warmth than my own ever had. I stayed focused on studies, slowly building a life entirely my own. In the early months, my parents tried reaching out. Mom left voicemails demanding I apologize to Olivia for disrupting her party. Dad sent emails titled "Time to Return Home" that I deleted unread. Eventually, the attempt stopped. They let me go as easily as crossing off a chore. I changed my major to computer science after finding a natural talent for programming. Professors noticed my efforts, and by my 3rd year, I landed an internship at a small downtown tech firm. The company was innovative and gave me a chance when bigger ones passed. I poured myself into the role with the same determination that kept me going, and it led to a full-time offer before I graduated. The firm developed data analytics tools, and I joined the team creating a platform that helped small companies understand customer information without expensive experts. My focus was the user experience, turning complex data into something simple for non-technical people. It felt rewarding to build solutions that gave others control, perhaps because I understood powerlessness so well. Lauren, my supervisor, became an unexpected guide. In her mid-30s, sharp but approachable, she recognized ability in me that I hadn't seen myself. During late sessions fixing code, she shared stories of her own difficult family background, divorced parents pulling her between homes, demanding loyalty. She understood being caught in impossible expectations. "You push like you're proving a point," she said one night when I was last to leave. "But you only need to prove things to yourself." Her words lingered. I had thought achievement would justify my choice to leave. That success would somehow explain the pain of cutting ties. But she was right. I chased external validation because I never learned to give it to myself. Around then, with a steady job and benefits, I started therapy. Lauren suggested her therapist after noticing how intensely I worked. Dr. Patricia Lawson, a kind woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a way of seeing past defenses, became essential. In our first session, I spent most of the time insisting I was fine, just handling normal pressure. "Tell me about your family," she said calmly, asking the question that changed everything. I offered the mild version first, busy parents, a sister who got more focus, typical sibling competition. Dr. Lawson listened carefully without judgment. When I finished, she asked one more. When was the last time someone in your family genuinely asked how you were and waited for a real answer? I tried to think of an example, but couldn't. The silence grew heavy with everything I avoided facing. Then I broke down crying, unable to stop. Years of hidden grief poured out, and she simply provided tissues and space. Therapy turned into my anchor. Session by session, I unpacked the unhealthy patterns I had accepted as normal. Dr. Lawson explained my parents' emotional neglect wasn't my fault. Olivia's actions reflected the flawed family system I escaped. She introduced ideas like scapegoat and golden child, clarifying my childhood roles. Your parents built a setup where your sister was praised just for being, while you were criticized for having any needs, she explained once. That's not ordinary rivalry, it's systemic favoritism with lasting harm. Hearing it stated so plainly helped end my self-blame. I had spent years wondering what flaw in me kept my parents from loving me fully. Therapy revealed the issue was never mine. They were imperfect parents in a broken dynamic, and I suffered the consequences. My career advanced quickly in my final year. The startup won major deals, expanding fast. I was promoted to lead developer 6 months post-graduation, with a solid salary increase. Soon, I earned enough to live comfortably, steadily paying down student loans that once felt impossible. My first big purchase was a reliable car, nothing flashy, just practical freedom from buses and trains. Driving it home, I sat in the lot gripping the wheel, amazed it was truly mine, earned without anyone's help. By age 24, I made more than I ever dreamed. The company grew significantly, and my early stock options promised real future wealth if trends continued. I rented my own high-rise apartment overlooking the river, furnished it thoughtfully, and built the life my parents always envisioned for Olivia but not me. The space became my haven, large windows framing the city view, plants on sills, books on custom shelves, art from local creators on walls. Everything reflected my choices, not expectations. Megan helped host my first proper dinner party there. Her family had been my steady support, treating me like another daughter, attending my graduation when mine didn't, giving a generous card with words, "We're so proud of you," that brought fresh tears. "Look at all this," Megan said, admiring the apartment. "You built it despite them." Because of them in a way, I admitted. Their neglect forced me to become this resilient. I wouldn't have pushed so hard otherwise. It was true, though hard to say. Their indifference taught self-reliance, instinct, and drive through sheer will. Valuable lessons, even if painfully learned. Social media remained tricky. I kept accounts private after leaving, but sometimes peaked. Olivia's posts showed perfect dates, friend outings, professional shots from work. Mom's page overflowed with praise for Olivia's milestones. Each reminded me of recognition I never received. I trained myself to avoid looking. Dr. Lawson called it guarding my peace, and it helped. Work gave routine and meaning. When Lauren moved to director, she promoted me to team lead. Suddenly, 3 junior developers reported to me. The role felt heavy, but I approached it with extra effort and care for their growth. "You're great at this," one dev, Marcus, said after I helped solve a tough bug. "Better than any boss I've had." The compliment surprised me. I just remember starting out without much guidance. I try to be the support I wished for. That mindset extended beyond work. I volunteered teaching coding to underprivileged teens, sharing skills that saved me. Seeing kids grasp concepts and gain confidence felt healing, like paying forward what Megan's family gave me. One girl, 15-year-old Ashley, echoed my younger self, quiet, bright, but doubting her worth, from a home ignoring her needs amid parental issues. Her guarded nature mirrored mine. "You're skilled," I told her after class. "Ever considered computer science in college?" She shrugged, unsure. Then Olivia called out of nowhere, voice sharp with disbelief. "You're really skipping my wedding. I have a work obligation I can't shift." A small lie I had perfected, avoiding hard truths. What work matter is bigger than your only sister's wedding. It's once in a lifetime. Given divorce statistics, maybe not, but I stayed silent. "I'm sorry I can't attend. This is still about that birthday, right?" Holding on to it after years. Her casual dismissal stirred deep anger. "You claimed my 21st birthday. You turned it into yours, and our parents allowed it. They've let you take everything my whole life. So no, I won't come watch another perfect day for you while I pretend to cheer from the side. You're acting selfish." There it was again, selfish, their label for any want of mine. Maybe I am, I said, but at least I'm honest now. I ended the call before response, hands trembling from adrenaline. Finally voicing years of truth felt liberating yet frightening. Mom, Dad, and Karen called next. I sent them to voicemail. Messages followed familiar patterns: disappointment, guilt, claims I'd ruined another event. None explored my reasons. I blocked their numbers and focused on work. 2 months later, we landed a major client, boosting our visibility. My stock looked promising, real security nearing. A local journal profiled rising Chicago tech talents, featuring me. I discussed overcoming obstacles, building from nothing, valuing independent paths despite opposition. The piece went live Thursday. By Friday, family found ways around blocks, emails, messages, even Karen showing at my office. The article revealed more than planned. Journalist Christina Wu asked deep questions about my journey, seeking the personal struggle behind success. I avoided naming family directly, but insiders would recognize. "What motivated your drive?" she asked over coffee. I nearly gave safe answers: passion, effort, but her interest drew honesty. I wanted to prove I could build something meaningful without the usual support others expect. Being undervalued doesn't set your worth. The published story used my quotes, photos of me with my team against the skyline. Headline: From Hardship to Triumph. One developer's solo rise. It tied my path to broader themes: self-made success, family shifts, young people forging alone. My phone exploded, old friends congratulating, industry connections, and family slipping through. Dad emailed from work: "Proud of your achievements. Let's meet for coffee. Your success should be celebrated right." The timing stung. He offered pride now, after silence when encouragement mattered most. Mom used a secondary account. "The article suggests we abandoned you. That's unfair. We gave everything we could, call to talk privately." Everything they could, mostly to Olivia. I laughed bitterly at the revision. Now successful despite them, they wanted credit for my strength. "Your mom is upset," Karen said in the lobby as security waited. "It paints them as neglectful." They were neglectful. I left at 21 and no one asked why. They only cared I disrupted their perfect image. Karen winced. She always smoothed conflicts, acting like imbalance was normal. "You don't get Olivia's pressure. She's carried huge expectations." My voice rose unintentionally. Others looked, but I no longer minded. "Did anyone think I might have had potential too? That half the attention you gave her could have let me shine?" Karen hesitated, seeing defeat. Security stood ready. "Just speak to your mother. She's struggling to sleep. This hurts her." Making Mom the victim nearly undid me. It's hurt her. She had years to reach out, apologize, show interest. She waited until public exposure made them look bad. That's not care, it's reputation management. Karen left quietly. I stood shaking, aware of stares. HR head approached gently. "All okay. Family issues. I'm managing," she nodded. "Take the afternoon off, rest, we need you strong." Her concern felt supportive, not doubting. I thanked her, told Lauren, cried briefly in my car, then drove home. The tears surprised. Their messages reopened old wounds. Forgotten pickups, rushed school events, ignored good grades versus feasts for Olivia's. Driving blurred by city lights, phone buzzing with notifications. My pain now partly public. Former teachers apologized for missing signs. A counselor wondered what became of me post-high school. Unexpectedly, Ethan messaged, "Read the article, sorry for it all. You deserved more." His brief words felt sincere. He'd been kind before but stayed neutral. Did Olivia see it? Was she angry, defensive, remorseful? Home, I viewed my apartment anew. My choices everywhere, no family traces. I built this well alone, yet surrounded by evidence of success, emptiness lingered. Achievements meant less without sharing with those who knew the cost. Megan's family celebrated me gratefully, but part still craved parental acknowledgement, though they'd lost that right. Dr. Lawson would say it's normal. Children seek parental approval despite unworthiness. Healing doesn't erase pain, you live with the mark. I made tea, sat reviewing messages, mostly positive, some networking, relatives shocked as if unaware. An unknown number rang. I answered against instinct. "It's me," Olivia said, voice softer, diminished. "Can we really talk, not superficial?" Every boundary screamed no, but hope whispered maybe. "Okay, but I picked the spot and you come alone." We met at a lakeside park, neutral territory. Olivia looked worn, dark circles despite makeup, thinner, twisting her ring. "I read your article," she began directly. "Is that truly how you view us, like we ruined everything?" "You didn't ruin my life. You just made it unnecessarily difficult." I never meant, she stopped. Actually, that's untrue. I did mean to take your party. Mom proposed it, but I agreed eagerly because I envied you. I stared, stunned. Envied me? She gave a humorless laugh. You had freedom I lacked. You could fail without notice. Expectations were low. I had to be flawless constantly. Top grades, ideal career, perfect partner. Pressure never eased. My real 21st was overshadowed by Dad's illness. Mom overwhelmed, my day sidelined. I acted like it was fine, but it hurt, so I ceased sharing yours. You handled your stress by ensuring I had zero support. I coped by keeping all attention on me. If eyes were on my perfection, no one saw my fear of falling short. She wiped smudged eyes. I'm sorry, should have said it long ago, but pride stopped me. Sorry for stealing your birthday, never defending you when they treated you second for everything. The genuine remorse cracked my stored anger. I'd imagined this scene with me untouched, but her guilt softened me. I appreciate hearing it, but words don't erase years of nothing. I know, I'm not seeking instant forgiveness. Just needed you to know I recognize my role now and I regret it deeply. We sat watching passers-by, city life continuing indifferent. Still not coming to the wedding? She asked. I can't being near Mom and Dad acting normal watching another celebration centered on you while I fake smiles. It would reverse my healing. What if it differed? What if I insisted they admit wrongs before you'd even think about it? They won't. They believe they did nothing wrong. Olivia stood, brushing grass off. Then perhaps someone needs to force them to see. Unsure her intent, I let her leave after a less awkward hug, faint hope rising. 3 days later, calls returned, but calmer. Mom's voicemail suggested lunch, voice uncertain. Dad's email titled, I owe you an apology, was lengthy, unlike his usual brevity. Karen texted reflecting on our talk. I ignored a week, processing the shift. Whatever Olivia did pierced their denial, but I questioned my energy for consequences. Then Olivia emailed a video, shaky phone recording of family dinner at parents' house. Timestamp, night after our park meeting. Olivia speaking firmly. I have something to say, listen fully, no interruptions. For 17 minutes, she dismantled every excuse for sidelining me, specific overlooked moments, diminished achievements, prioritizing her ease over my basics. She detailed manipulation, keeping me compliant, labeling my needs selfish. Mom tried interrupting. Olivia shut it down each time. Dad looked uneasy, flushed. You broke her, Olivia finished tearfully. Damaged your daughter because equal love felt too hard. When she voiced pain, you called her sensitive. You owe far more than sorry, years of therapy costs, lost opportunities, the childhood deserved. Video ended with Mom crying, Dad silent, Ethan comforting Olivia off camera. I rewatched thrice, angry they needed Olivia to validate my hurt, grateful she finally used privilege to advocate, sad courage came late. Olivia called, seen it. Yes, doesn't fix everything, but shows you meant park words. Done enabling. After filming, Mom excused, Dad admitted error but minimized. I said until genuine reflection and amends, I'll limit contact too. Pause. Canceled the grand wedding, small city hall now. Less show, no pretending. Olivia, you were right. I chased their approval, becoming part of the problem. Don't want that anymore. We talked an hour honestly, exploring years of hurt, misunderstandings. Not simple disagreements arose, but real for once. Next 2 months, parents tried tentatively, Mom asking about my life over coffee, not just Olivia's. Dad sharing industry articles, showing awareness. Karen admitting she knew favoritism wrong but avoided conflict. Nothing erased harm instantly. I tensed at Mom's critiques, resented Dad praising Olivia. But gradually, painfully, we built healthier patterns. True change came my 22nd birthday, over a year post-article, months into reconciliation. Expecting nothing, I planned quiet. Morning, Olivia at my door with balloons, favorite coffee. Dress, we're celebrating. I have work. Cleared with your boss, let's go. She planned my preferences, brunch spot I'd mentioned, movie matinee, bookstores not her boutiques, spicy dinner she disliked but I loved. Evening, same park bench as our honest talk, comfortable quiet now. Thank you for today video, finally noticing me. Should have always, still sorry for delay. Phone buzzed family wishes. Mom sent photo of homemade cake with my name perfect in icing. Dad proud of the woman I'd become. Karen silly dancing animal gif. Small steps, unable to repay years lost, but sincere efforts to improve. I couldn't erase all, might never fully trust, but recognized trying, open to outcome. Are you happy? Olivia asked suddenly. Truly content? Considering apartment, career, chosen relationships, hard-won independence. Yes, I really am. You deserve that. We stayed till lights glowed, two sisters long causing pain, now learning coexistence. Not fairy tale perfect, but authentic, imperfect, genuine, unlike before. Confrontation didn't shatter family, it forced facing denial, ultimately strengthening us. Weekly dinners became listening spaces. Mom therapized favoritism roots, Dad attended my events like Olivia's once. Progress uneven, some days anger at wasted time, others gratitude for arrival. The stolen birthday that drove me out eventually compelled confrontation of ignored truths. 2 years later, dressing for Olivia's small city hall wedding in my apartment mirror. Same navy silk dress, now fitting better, worn and comfortable. The woman reflected differed greatly from the devastated girl fleeing her party. Stronger, tougher edges, but secure in identity and worth. She endured abandonment, crafted beauty from ruins. Learned love sometimes needs teaching, even from those meant to know. Olivia texted, "Thank you for coming, means the world." I smiled, grabbed coat. The family at City Hall wasn't flawless, we had much mending ahead, but we were all attempting and sometimes that was enough.